Hi guys, welcome in. Happy Thursday. As you can tell, I'm definitely not at Disney. And my phone's going off. Hey Justin Ray. So obviously I'm not at Disney. I'm a mess. My aunt leaves Saturday morning to fly out to Michigan. So I decided to skip the park today, spend some family time. We just went out to dinner and stuff, so I only got here to the horses like 30 minutes ago or so. So I've already taken care of some of the stuff outside, but I figured I would like hang out with you guys in here for a little bit, do a little bit of Q&A. I know it's dark. My apologies, guys. The lighting here is not the best by any means. But just catch up with everyone and see how everyone's doing. Hopefully this will stay on here. You know what? I might have to adjust it. I don't know. Let me see. Ooh, it almost looks like I'm in prison. I'm not. I'm in Horsie jail. But I'm by myself. Anthony's not here. He didn't even know I was doing this. I literally just called him like 2 minutes before I started the live, and I was like, hey, guess what? So same with my mods, my poor mods. I messaged them and I was like, so guess what, guys? But anyway, thank you guys for being here. I hope you are all doing super well. Hi, Mandrino Adventures. Hey, Ryan. Whoa, flashback. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Randy. Hey, Ada. Hey, Cassie. Cassie, I did one already. You missed it. Like a couple weeks ago, like maybe 3-ish, 4-ish, somewhere in there weeks ago. I did one and I showed all the horses and stuff. Hey, Lady DH, welcome in. But I'm going to make their supplements right now because that needs to soak for a little bit. And then I need to clean Denver's stall. So I figured while I'm doing that, if you guys want to throw some Q&A stuff at me about whatever, if it's something I'm not comfortable answering, I will let you know. But feel free to ask whatever. And yes, Cassie, no worries, girl. Life is busy. I get it. I know. I need to do a daytime. It's been really hot up here lately. I'm in a Spirit jersey, and there's no way I could have been wearing this up here during the day this week. It's been nasty hot this week. Hey, Robin. Hey, Jacob. Park stream soon to make up for... I'll try, Jacob. We'll see. The name of my very first horse. So I actually, before I owned, I leased horses. The first horse I ever leased was a gelding, which is technically a neutered boy horse. And his name, hey, Martin, was Mr. Edibucks. And we called him Edibucks. But he was almost black. He was a really dark brown horse. He was almost black. And he taught me a lot. He was insanely stubborn. Hey, Rob Law. Horsey Hangout's your new band name. What kind of music? I saw Cassie. They grow up so quick. I remember when that one was just born. Hey, Christy. So I leased him and he taught me so much. He was the most stubborn, pain in the neck horse. But I loved him. He really taught me patience. Whoops. So then after him, I leased a horse named Nicole. Her registered name was Kim's Parbar. And they have weird names because with horses, a lot of times, especially registered horses, show horses, they'll take the sire, the father's name, and the dam, the mother's name, and they'll use like words from their lineage to create, not always, but usually to create their name, especially for show horses. Sometimes with race horses too. But so her father, her sire, was Mr. Kimbar. So that's why Kim's Parbar. And her mom, her dam, was Miss Parlotta. And she was the most beautiful, beautiful chocolate brown color, like a chocolate lab. And she was called Liver Chestnut. That was the coloring of her. But I pre-made supplements for all of my horses. I was thinking ahead because I knew this week was going to be crazy. So luckily it's not going to take me long to make these. But, yeah, so that was my first horse that I owned was Nicole Kim's Parbar. I leased her first, and the owner, unfortunately, she had MS, and she was pretty darn sick, and she, her symptoms kept getting progressively worse. So initially I was half leasing her, so I only could use her half the time of the day, and I paid for half of her expenses. And then after a while I wound up full leasing her, so I paid for everything, and I was able to show with her, compete with her. Hey, Miss Garcia, welcome in. And then when she got really, the owner, when she got really bad, her symptoms, I was able to purchase her. So she was the first horse I owned. I was a teenager when I got her, and I showed her quite a bit. She was an amazing horse. You could do literally anything on that horse. And we would go to horse shows, and people would walk up like complete strangers and offer money for her. It was wild. Hey, Esmeralda, welcome in. But I kept her. She wound up having medical issues as she got older and stuff like that. But I owned her until eventually we had to put her down because of her health issues. So it was pretty sad. So, Maria, I saw your comment. So each one is different. I put different things in them depending on the horse's needs. Hey, Stacy, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. So they all get pellets, unless I give them bran, but they're getting pellets right now. These are alfalfa Bermuda mixed pellets. So it's finely chopped hay that's compressed into a pellet. And then, so Darlin, she gets MSM for her joints. She gets electrolytes to help her drink and stay hydrated, because with this weather change, colic is really common. And then, dying to get a mini horse. I had a mini horse. I had to put her down a couple months ago. And then she gets something called remission, because she has a medical condition called laminitis that she had before I owned her, and it just helps manage that. It's to do with their feet and stuff like that. So that is what she gets. Whiskey gets another supplement for her feet, and the feet supplements also help with their coat, because it's like humans. It's the biotin and stuff, like our nails, our teeth, our hair. It's all similar with horses. And then she also gets the MSM for her joints, and she gets the electrolytes. And then Denver, he gets something called Platinum. It's a ridiculous supplement that's like an all-in-one, because he doesn't have specific needs for his feet or anything like that, so I can give him that. So, right? I need the joint supplement too. I feel it every morning when I wake up. Okay, this is Darlin's. Okay. And then I've got to give Darlin her medicine. So technically, this is something called Previcox that's actually for dogs and cats. But it's the same exact medicine for horses, but it's got a different name for horses, and it's more expensive. So if you're lucky, you can get a vet that can prescribe the other version, and you can give it to your horses, and it doesn't cost as much as the horse one. You just have to break it up into smaller pieces and like quarters. So she gets this little itty bitty quarter of a pill once a day now. That's the one that, remember I told you guys a few weeks ago that she was having issues? So that's for her. That's the medication we have her on now. So yeah. So now I have to go and add water to soak the pill so it'll dissolve, and then I have to add water to the pellets to let them soak so that it's easier. I mean, I don't have to add water for the pellets, but I do it for two reasons. One, choking can be kind of common with horses. So pellets, hay, whatever, it can get lodged in their throat just like it sounds. But if they do choke, a lot of times they can get aspiration pneumonia as a secondary issue. And that is, a lot of times it can be fatal. So just to err on the safe side, I soak my stuff so it's smaller, it's easier to digest, and as a secondary benefit, it adds water and hydration to their gut to keep them hydrated. So that's that. But I'm gonna put all these in the wheelbarrow, take y'all over to go and get some water. And for those of you who weren't able to watch the stream a while back, I do not own this place. I pay to board here. I do not live on horse property, unfortunately. So I have to board them. Give me 1 sec to add this, and I'll read the chat. But Cassie, I used to own a mini horse. Her name was Patty. She was black and white, and she was 30 inches tall. I owned another one years ago, and he was a little boy. He was a stud, actually, a stallion, and his name was Bear, and he was 28 inches tall. So they weighed probably between like 250 and 300 pounds. They were like the size of, height-wise, as like a German Shepherd. So way smaller than a pony, but just as expensive. So, all right. They can be stubborn, yes. Hey, DJ Knight, welcome in. All right, guys. I gotta figure out where I can put you while I clean his stall. Let's see. No, Denver's here. I'm actually in Denver's stall right now. He's outside on the hot walker. You can't see him because it's pitch black out there. But he's outside on the hot walker. Honey and Pumpkin would try to play too much with her. Honestly, sometimes the dogs and the horses get along really well. It just depends. My neighbors had their 4 little mini winnies out grazing. Oh, the other day, it was so cute. Aww. I know, I have a friend, she shows the mini horses. Let me adjust that. She shows the mini horses, and she's got a bunch of them. And she says they're like potato chips because you can't have just one. They're so addicting, the minis. They're so cute. Hey, Evelyn Rocha, welcome in. So guys, this part is going to be slightly boring because I've got to clean his stall. I've got to shovel manure. Hey, Haunted Gamer, welcome in. So if you guys want to throw some questions, I'll do my best to try and read them. It's going to be a little tricky. And then after I'm done cleaning, it'll be a little more interesting. I'll bring Denver in and I'll groom him, and you guys can see him and ask any questions about him or anything, honestly, whatever. Boring is your new middle name. Can't believe that I would want more than one. I know, and I mean, they're herd animals, so it's like, it's good for them, right? But I think over the years, I've probably owned 20 to 30 something horses, if I had to guess. And I've probably ridden and or worked with probably a few hundred, to be honest. When I was a teenager, the horseback riding instructor, the trainer that I rode with, I was essentially like her crash dummy. So any horses that her clients had that were acting up, that were having attitude problems, that just needed exercise, whatever, she would throw me on, and I would try to fix it. So I had fun with that kind of thing. Hey, Sanchez. He's very friendly. Sometimes a little too friendly. He's always like all up in your business. Does anyone have any questions? Scared to death of their size. But oh, Clydesdales are beautiful. I've never owned a Clydesdale. I've never ridden a Clydesdale. The closest thing I've come to is riding a Friesian. So Friesians are jet black. They've got the long furry legs. It's called feathering. And hey, Mike Skellington. And they have a similar gait to the draft or to the Clydesdales. and they're built like them. They're massive. They're tanks. But they're such beautiful horses. One of my horseshoers that I've had over the years, he owns one. He owns a stallion. And I went over to his and his wife's house, and they were like, ride him, ride him. He's incredible. When was the first time I rode? Oh my goodness. I was probably in, aside from like little pony rides where you're just going around in a circle, or yeah, I think that was the only other thing I've done. The first time I rode, I was probably in like 4th grade, and my aunt that raised me, she used to take my cousins. At the time we lived, well, before I rode, we lived down in La Puente, down kind of close-ish to Anaheim, and the City of Industry, which is another city nearby, they used to offer rental horses, and you would go on a little like predetermined track with a guide and just walk and cruise your horse. And so my aunt had done that for my cousins and for like their birthday or whatever, and I was the one that was like obsessed and crazy about horses, but I was really young compared to them. I was too young to go. And I would beg and plead and beg and plead. And finally, by the time I was old enough, we didn't live in that area anymore. We had moved down to South Orange County. And the school I went to, I had friends at that school who owned horses themselves. So we talked to them, whatever. And they had told us where some stables were. So unbeknownst to me, my aunt had bought a rental pony ride for me, or horse ride, whatever, for me to go trail riding with my aunt and with a guide. Again, just walking up in the hills behind the mission in San Juan Capistrano. So we got there, got on the horses. It was at like a public stable, and then you ride down. They give you like a really brief synopsis of like how to manage the horse. You know, you pull back and say whoa to stop. You go or to get them to move forward, and you kick them with your legs. Basic stuff. Move your hands side to side to get them to go whatever direction you want. So you leave the stable, and you would go down an embankment and cross a really, I mean, it was a fairly wide crossing, but it was a little creek, and the water was super shallow, super duper shallow. And then you go up a little, not steep embankment, but a little embankment, and then up into the hills, up in there where there's orange groves. So we're back in the orange groves, whatever, cruising along. Out of nowhere, the horse I'm riding, I don't know if it got scared, I don't know if it got stung by a bee, I don't know what happened. It takes off at a full gallop. Gone. And my aunt's freaking out. My aunt cannot ride worth a you know what. And she's scared of horses the whole 9 yards. The trail guide's like yelling at me, you know, telling me what to do. She's chasing after me, trying to catch up to me. And before she could get anywhere near me, I had the horse stopped, under control, and was coming back to them. And the guide was like, oh my gosh. And she turns to my aunt and she goes, has she ridden before? And my aunt's like, no. And she's like, she needs to. Like, this is in her DNA. This is in her blood. Like, she's meant to do this. So that was the first time I rode. After that, my aunt wound up getting me riding lessons as a gift. And I would go like once every other week or something like that and go take riding lessons. And then eventually went to another trainer, and then eventually wound up leasing, and then that's like where it all snowballed from there. So, hey Doberman K9, hey Robert Stone, welcome in guys. Yes, they're it's called fight or flight. So they are prey animals. So their instinct, if they're unsure of something, if they get scared by something, their instinct is to run, to flee, to get away from it, because in their mind it's potentially prey. Okay, Cassie, so they can, but they don't. In the past, they have like once a year or something, like once in a blue moon, but not on a regular basis, no. For those of you that don't know, because I've never really talked about this in the streams, guys, I do have daughters. I have 2 daughters. When they were younger, they did show. The mini horse was one of my daughters. And then my other daughter had a full-size horse. Well, initially it was supposed to be both of theirs, but anyway. So they did it. They kind of outgrew it. You know, kids, like they go through phases, whatever. So they were really into it when they were younger. By high school, they kind of started getting out of it. So, but, you know, I was still committed, so I took care of them on my own. The mini until she passed away, and then the full-size one for probably like 5 or 6 years after they lost interest. And then I eventually wound up selling her to one of my horseshoers. So she went to a good home. I knew it was safe, everything. Oh, if someone subscribed, thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. I'm sorry, guys. I'm only seeing bits and pieces of the chat because I'm cleaning the stall and everything else. So if I'm missing your comments or anything like that, my apologies. I am DJ Night. I am. But it's hard work. I'm here literally every single day, and I'm shoveling manure. I'm doing medication. I'm grooming them. I'm exercising them. It's not easy by anything. Did they ever do the egg and spoon race when they were younger with the horses? I did it. So we would have something called play dates when I was younger with my trainer. And she had at one point she had over 100 horses in training. And there were tons of kids that rode with her and adults. And so she would have, it was like a game day. So we would come down, it was like usually on a weekend. And there would be games where you would have a spoon in your mouth, you'd have the handle in your mouth and the scoop part sticking out, and you'd put a raw egg in the spoon, and you would have to ride around the arena and do different things that they were announcing for you to do. You know, stop, back, turn, you know, trot, gallop, whatever the case may be, and not drop the egg. They also had one where you would ride bareback with no saddle, and you would put a dollar bill under your booty and do all of that stuff and try not to A, lose your balance, and B, not let the money fall out. And at the end of that specific event, whoever was left still with the dollar under them at the very end would get all of the money. So that was a lot of fun. Why no notification? Because Jacob, I don't know why YouTube didn't do a notification if you didn't get one from YouTube, but I didn't know what was going to happen because everything was all crazy today. So I just decided last minute, I'm here anyway, so I was like, oh, I'll go live for a little bit and talk to y'all. So let me get a little bit more manure, guys, so I'm not here till midnight. But like I said, I do board my horses here, and to make it a little more affordable, I have them under partial self-care, which means I'm responsible for cleaning their stalls every day. I'm responsible for cleaning their water troughs. The one horse, I provide all of her hay because she can't eat what they feed here. She's had issues in the past medically eating those other types of hay, so I provide her hay. So it is very expensive. They say that the cheapest part of owning horses is buying them, which is very true. And the other saying is, where does the manure go? Trash. The other saying is, if you want to be a billionaire or a millionaire owning horses, start out a billionaire. Because they're money pits. They really are. If you have horses, it's because you truly love it and love them. It's a passion, because it's not for the money. Trust me. The manure here, different places do different things. Here, they take it, they put it out in the sun so it completely dries out for weeks. Because it can be combustible, it can be flammable. So they put it out in the sun for weeks, let it totally dry out, and then they take it and then they work it into the ground in different places here. So kind of sat on a horse, didn't know how to get off the horse. Getting on the easy part, right? There's one way to get off. Not always the easiest way, though. Some places do have pickup for it. Some places do get it hauled away, and it goes to like fertilizer companies. But horse manure is a lot different than cow manure. You cannot typically use it for gardening because it is too hot. Not temperature hot, but the hay and the way it's digested with horses. Horses only have one stomach. Cows have 4. So by the time a cow gets rid of their food when they've digested it, a lot of the nutrients are gone, and it's not as strong as what a horse digests. So when you do gardening, if you're wanting to grow plants and flowers and, you know, produce and whatnot, you don't typically want horse manure. And if you do use it, you want it to sit out for like several months to where it's very weak, and use very little of it at a time. But you can have fires from manure, horse or otherwise. Same with hay. So manure, hay, it can like ferment and get so hot internally that it'll spontaneously combust. So that's why if you ever go to a stable, they typically keep any used manure or any hay far away from any of the buildings because it can be a fire hazard. Have you ever owned a donkey? I hear a lot of people get them to protect. I have personally never, hey Brave Bull, I have never personally owned a donkey, but I've been around a lot of them. I have friends that have owned them. My one friend, she has 2 mini donkeys, and they're fun, but they can be great protectors. You can put them out with a herd of horses, and they will kill coyotes. They will grab them with their mouth, and they will incapacitate them. So, stream the barbecue on Saturday. Maybe, Jacob. We'll see. We'll see. Saturday is going to be hanging out with friends, so I don't know for sure what's going to happen. And I'm not at Disney, for whoever asked a little bit ago. I saw the comment. I'm not at Disney because my family, my aunt, who's almost been like a mother to me, she is moving out of state, and she flies out Saturday morning. So I decided last night to cancel my reservation. I did have a reservation for the park, but I was like, I'm gonna get emotional. But I was like, I have so little time left here physically with her to spend with her, so I felt that I needed to make that a priority. So, but I felt bad, so I was like, okay, let me like go live for a little bit, explain, and give you guys a little bit of horsey time. Hey, Christina H. So sorry, guys. Ugh. And besides, there was no Tiana's reservations for today. Today was not a preview day for Tiana's. Hey, Venom the Last Dance. Yes, I'm just finishing cleaning the stall, and then I'm going to go get one of my horses that's outside right now. So, thank you guys. Her daughter lives out there, so she's moving to Michigan, and her daughter lives there, and she's got 2 grandkids, a grandson and a granddaughter, that live there with her daughter, that are still school age. And then she's got another granddaughter that's older that lives, I want to say like, I don't remember, 3 to 6 hours from there. So all of her grandkids are there. Her only living daughter is there. So, you know, we were all here. And then my cousin had to, like, got married, and they moved for her husband's work and stuff. So you know, she needs to be with her grandkids. So it's only right, it's only fair. Jacob, yes, a lot of them are. Probably Slim Devin, Carla and Kiko Adventures, Caesar and Sylvie, Rope Drop Nation. Anthony's going to be there towards the end of the day. I don't know who else is going to be there. I think CL's supposed to be there. Possibly Maria. It's just really hard with my horses and my dogs to go out of town that far. So it's not like it's something where I can drive and then come back the same day or the next day. It's almost a full day traveling, you know, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm almost done in here, guys, I promise. All right, that's probably good enough. I can do more tomorrow. Hey, Rodolfo, welcome in. All right, one sec, guys. All right. Hey, Jen. Hey, Most Wanted. Yes, Christy, Anthony's at home. How you doing tonight, Jen? Ooh, what'd you get at Chipotle, Brave Bull? Dr. Pool. But he's in Michigan and winters are... I know. My aunt actually loves watching Dr. Pool, so it's funny that you say that. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about how she's going to do with the winters out there because she has really bad arthritis. So... Venom Last Dance says, comes out Friday. Venom, The Last Dance. All right. That is done. Nice smelling, right? Tacos. Yummy. What kind of tacos do you make, Jen? I had Mexican food for dinner. We went out to dinner at a restaurant up here called Viva Maria's. And I had steak ranchero, which I had never had before. It was actually really good. How do you bring in horse? Oh, he's got a halter on him, so I just grab the ropes and stuff that are attached to it and walk him on in. He was in here earlier in that stall that I just cleaned, and so I had to put the halter on him to take him out to the hot walker. What's the horse? Anything. They will... Well, I shouldn't say anything. Mine are not usually very picky. So they'll eat carrots, they'll eat apples. They actually make a ton of different varieties of horse cookies, peppermints, some of them like watermelon. They eat all kinds of stuff. Let me see. Can't remember if there's a light or not. Let me try and flip you guys around. See if I can put a light on. Yeah, you can kind of see. There, you can see him. See all the dust flying through the air? So, that is what's called a hot walker. And you can have up to 4 horses on there at a time. I only have 1 on there. I have Denver on there right now. And this one is only 1 speed, but it walks them around in circles. You can have them go both directions. And what you guys see flying at you, that's dust. I'm sorry, guys. But they do make horse exercisers that actually can make them trot and lope or canter. So there you go. Mining for crypto now. But yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I will take him off of there. He heard me making his supplement, so he's more than ready to go in. His eyes are not red, guys. It's just the flash from the light reflecting off of his eyeballs. Come on, buddy. Oh, there he is. We know horse and water, but you can't make him drink, but you can make him walk in a circle. Hey, Dulcimeris, how you doing? And guys, I'm sorry, this is not on a gimbal, so I know it's really shaky. Because, like I said, this was literally an absolutely last-minute decision. Did Walt Disney ever own horses? He actually, I believe, did. He did, he rode polo. Here, let me flip you guys around again. He rode polo horses, and he actually was really upset because he got injured doing it, which is really common in polo, to the point where he couldn't do it anymore. So he loved horses. And I think that's part of why he wanted to incorporate them into the park. So let me, I'll put you guys down. Give me one sec. Cool. Sorry guys, it's going to be shaky for a minute. Denver, be good. I will adjust you guys in 1 minute so you can see him a little better. Come here. He's unimpressed. Give me 1 sec. There, that's better. All right, give me 1 minute, guys. I'm gonna grab my other phone and I'm gonna grab the grooming tool so I can read the chat while I groom him. So give me 1 sec. All right, so I just grabbed a handful of things to use. Ta-da! I've got something called Show Sheen, which is like a detangler, and it helps get the dust off of them, and it helps make their coat nice and shiny and slick, and kind of helps repel some of the dirt as well. And then I got a stiffer brush. I got what's called a finishing brush, mane and tail brush, hoof pick, and a shedding tool. So let me see. All right, Denver, oh goodness. I'm gonna look like a really bad horse mom right now. I think he's 8 right now. I have to go back and look. I am really bad about paying attention. And over the years, I've had so many horses that I always say like, oh, I think they're like around such and such age. But when I got him, he had just turned 3. So I've had him for a while. Good night, Jacob. Have a great night. Alrighty. Thank you, guys. He doesn't know he has a fan club. He's the kind that like would get an ego. He has so much personality. Him and my other horse, Whiskey, probably have the most personality out of all the horses I've ever owned. A long time ago, I posted a video, I think on my Instagram. If I wear a jacket with a zipper and zip it up, he will unzip it. He will grab it with his mouth. If I stand here, he'll grab it and he'll unzip it, and then he'll go like up, down, up, down, up, down with the zipper. Rob said, hi, Horsie, how was your day? Yeah, so for showing, you want their manes to actually be really short. They would only be about maybe 2 inches or so long. They cut the manes or do, for English riding, it's called pulling the mane. And certain kinds of showing, they will allow it to be long for like reining and stuff like that. But for Western pleasure and for hunter jumper stuff, it is typically kept short. But because I haven't been showing, I've let his grow. Denver fan club merch, FYI. Make a little Denver plushie. Maybe Jen can crochet him. No, I'm kidding, Jen. Esmeralda said, LOL, he looks like he's giving the camera side eye. I would not put it past him. Like I said, he's sassy. He is very sassy. He is always getting into trouble. One of his nicknames is Denver the Menace. Like Dennis the Menace. So, yeah. Ever changed the horse's shoes on any of the horses? I personally do not, because it takes a lot of training and skill to do that. And there's a lot of science, a lot of science and stuff that goes into it. Because if you don't do it the right way, you can permanently injure them to the point where they need to be put down. So I do not shoe my horses myself, but I do have horseshoers that take care of their feet regularly. He has 4 shoes. And then my other 2 horses have what's called front shoes. So they only have horseshoes on their front feet. Their back feet do not have horseshoes. And they just get trimmed on the back. So all horses' feet get trimmed when they get shoes put on. Baby horses, young horses, more expensive. It depends. It depends on the breeding. It depends on, like with older horses, it depends on their training. If they're horses that are shown or raced or anything like that, depending on how well they have done in competitions, can also determine their pricing. So usually a baby horse is going to be less expensive than a full-size horse. But again, it depends on pedigree. You can have baby horses. They actually sell, this is what's crazy, guys. They'll sell horses in embryo. And they will go for thousands, sometimes tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in embryo. So you're literally gambling because you don't know if that horse is going to be born with a deformity, with a medical condition, with, like, you could be buying it to race it and it might not be one that wants to run. It could have the total pedigree and genetics to be a racehorse and hate running. It happens all the time. So with any horse, it's always a gamble. There's a girl that I follow. Her name's Katie as well. You guys, maybe you've heard of her. I don't know. She's very, very well known on all different platforms. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Her name's Katie Van Slyke. And she owns a bunch of show horses. She does the same kind of riding that I do. So she does Western pleasure, and then she also does the English stuff. And she breeds horses, and she breeds cows and goats. Well, she just started breeding goats. She just started breeding donkeys. And she has done so well on her social media platforms. She got into social media when it was like brand new, when she was like a teenager. And she's in her like mid-30s now. So she got into it in like its infancy. And she has done so phenomenally well that she was able to last year go and bid on a stallion, a well-known stallion. And he sold for over $1 million. And she bought him. So, but she does the breeding. She does the, she's bought horses in utero, and she sells some in utero too. So It's really common in show horses and race horses. And they'll also do IVF with horses. So she's got one mare right now, one female horse, and it is having, I think, 3 babies this year. 1 naturally itself, and 2 with surrogate mares. 2 surrogate horses are having its baby. So it's so crazy, the kind of stuff that can go on. Alrighty. Is that Katie from Breast? No, it's not Katie from Breast Life and Beyond. Is it weird? I want to see Katie ride a horse. I will do a riding stream at some point, guys. To be honest with you, Denver, I have not ridden. I've hopped on him like bareback a few times in the last couple of years. But he got injured a couple of years ago. And it was like internally. He injured a suspensory ligament in one of his back legs. And that kind of injury has the potential to be career ending for a horse. So I took him up to, we had like so many vets look at him. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. We did all kinds of x-rays, tests, everything. And finally the one vet was like, I recommend you take him up to, it's up by Solving, and I cannot think of the name of it right now. But it's an equine hospital up by Solving. And up in like central California, central northernish California. And it's driving me nuts that I cannot think of the name. Not that it matters, but anyway, took him up there and they did what's called a full body bone scan. So they inject them with contrast and use a special machine that literally scans every square inch of their body. And it can show if there's any issues in the bones. And it can also show if there's like heat radiating or whatever, to show if there's another issue that maybe isn't in the bone, but it'll help you pinpoint the area where there's an issue. So we did that. And he was only supposed to go up there for that. And then we were supposed to drive back down. So we had to get there the night before so that he could get the injection with the contrast. And it needs so long in their system to fully work its way through. Yes, yes. And, okay, enough. And so went up there, did that. The bone scan did not show what the issue was, but it showed the area. So they were like, okay, we recommend that you have an ultrasound done on him now. I'm like, okay. They're like, but we can't do the ultrasound with the contrast still in his system. Hey, Shaquille Shaka, welcome in. So they're like, you need to keep him here another day. So I was like, okay. So I kept him there another day, did the ultrasound, and they're like, okay, we'll have the results. And I think it was like late in the day. So they were like, we're going to need you to stay another day after that. Hey, DM, to go over the results. I was like, are you kidding me? So my quick trip turned into like a week-long excursion. But I mean, it was a beautiful area to be stuck. So, hey, Shokan, how are you, my friend? But anyway, sorry, I sidetracked, ADHD brain. So we found out he had an upper suspensory injury on one of his back legs. And so the vet was like, he needs to have like a minimum of 6 to 9 months off. No work, no nothing at all, complete stall rest. So that's what he got. And then me being the paranoid, overprotective horse mama, I was like, you know what, he's getting longer than that. Because it's not going to hurt him to have too much time, but it will hurt them if you push them too soon. So, hey, just saying. Thank you. Bubber, wonderful Bubber. Sorry, I'm looking for your question, my friend. Can we see Whiskey? I showed her on the last horse stream I did a few weeks ago. It's really dark out right now, so I don't know if you'd be able to see her. So I gave him extra time off. He had all kinds of special treatments. He got like laser therapy. He got electrode therapy. He got special medication. He got injections. He got the gamut of everything that I could possibly give him. And I honestly haven't tried riding him, like really riding him since then. I think I'm a little like scared and nervous that like I'm going to re-injure him or something. I don't know. But he did it to himself. He was playing and being Denver the Menace, and he stepped on himself by trying to like spin too quickly. I was not riding him at the time. He was out playing in the arena on his own, just being a goober, and he stepped on himself and like kind of stumbled and pulled it then. So, troublemaker. Let me see if I can get him to smile for you guys. Can you smile? Smile. Cheese. Say cheese. 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 You guys see? Good boy. Good boy. So, yeah. Let me see. He always wants attention. Honestly, what he wants is for me to put him back so he can eat his food. That's what he really wants. But, let's see. Is there any other questions? Older paint with foot issue right now. He has to have a boot on for a while. Oh no. What issue does he have? So my Palomino, the one that's actually the thumbnail picture for this stream, that's the one that I told you guys a few weeks ago had an issue, and I know, you're so bored. And why I wasn't at the park a few weeks ago. So she's actually being treated right now for navicular. So, Alamo Pintado. Thank you, Shelly. You're awesome. Yes, you are so right. It was Alamo Pintado. Yes, Stacy, you are right. VS Code Red. That is the stallion that Katie Van Slyke got. Totally correct. He's very bougie. He's young and he lives a life of leisure and gets pampered and spoiled and all the treats. And he's not complaining. He's actually quite happy with it and he's okay with it, I think. Huh. Are you okay with it? No? Thank you, Rodolfo. Lady DH said he knows you're talking about him, but he can't figure out who you're talking to. Exactly. He's like, that's it. Mom's lost her mind. I knew it was going to happen one day. Sylvia said, now we need a 24-hour horse cam. For the most part, it would be pretty boring. Although he does get a little wily when it's feeding time. He's in a 12 by 12 box stall. That's what the stalls are called. So they're 12 feet by 12 feet. He will run laps sometimes in his stall and be like rearing up and kicking. And again, Denver the Menace, that's how he hurt himself. So yeah, for the most part, it would be pretty boring until it was like feeding time or something like that. So Cassie said, my mom always loved Palomino horses. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the spelling. Nope, you're good. It's Palomino, but you're great. His favorite treat is anything you put in front of him. So I try not to hand feed him because yes, you. No, you're not eating my hair. I try not to hand feed him because he gets nippy. So some horses, not all but some, if you give them treats too much by hand, they get to expecting that and then they start trying to bite. So he had that issue pretty bad. So I try not to hand feed him treats. I'll put treats in his feeder in his stall. But for the most part, I try not to hand feed him unless he's doing stretches. So, again, bougie. But so are the Disney horses, okay? So my horses, every once in a while, I'll have a chiropractor out to adjust them. They've also had massage therapy. They've had a massage therapist come out and work on them. But I figure, you know what, if they're carrying my booty around, then they deserve it, right? Like, I know I get sore sometimes doing stuff, so I can only imagine how sore they can get. And so he's been adjusted by, all of my horses have been adjusted by a chiropractor named Don Moore, and he is the same chiropractor that works on all of Disneyland's horses out in Norco. So... Cassie, right? No kidding. His own merch to support his bougie habits. Jen, you can come feed him apples. He would not be mad about that. The paint has a hole in the bottom. Oh, an abscess? DM, or did he step on something? Cassie said, he said, if you're going to talk about food, you better hand some over. Hey, Matthew Maldonado, welcome in. Matthew said, hello everyone, I'm new to the channel. Happy Thursday evening. Well, welcome in, Matthew. Happy to have you here. Hey, Charlie Wise, he said, he's been side-eyeing the camera ever since you walked up with it. Yeah, he's like, can I eat it? If I hadn't already dumped your bucket, I would let you eat some of your bucket right now. Hey, Luann Garcia, welcome in. Hey, Slim, he said, they let Katie into Disneyland for free. She takes care of their horses. Well, what's funny is when I was a teenager, the place where my trainer was at the time, I see you. I don't have any treats. I'm sorry. I know I teased you earlier by putting my hand out like I did. I'm sorry. But one of my friends there, I was a teenager, and she was in like her, probably like early to mid 20s. Her name was Kimberly. And she had a beautiful gray thoroughbred named Estrella, Star in Espanol. And she worked at Disneyland with the horses, but it was back when the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue was around, and the horses were stabled behind there. And she would tell me all kinds of crazy stories about what was going on at Disneyland and with the horses and all that. And she actually got invited to have the option to transfer and go work at Disney Paris for a while. So she did that, and she worked with the horses at Disney Paris too, which I think is just crazy. But it was in like the early years of Disney Paris. Mike Skellington, can I be one of your horses? That didn't come out right. And what's funny is one of the perks when I've had the horse chiropractor out is he can work on humans too. So every once in a while, I would be lucky enough to get adjusted too, which was really cool. And abscess, see, that's what we were worried about with my other horse, with Darlin. We weren't sure if it was going to be laminitis because she had that when I bought her, which it's been a long time since I bought her. She was, I think, 6 when I bought her, and she's almost 20 now. So we weren't sure if it was her laminitis flaring up. We weren't sure if it was navicular or a deep abscess. So we treated it just like it's an abscess, and then we also gave her the medication for the navicular. We x-rayed her feet, couldn't find anything, but she's okay now, thank goodness. Let's see, anything else? Dan said, I actually used to show miniature horses and jumping when I was in high school. I went and showed at the Nationals in Oklahoma City. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yes, we used to show the mini that I had. We did jumping, we did trail, and halter with her. The only thing we didn't do with her is cart training. I have a cart and I have the harness and everything, but we just never got around to it. Cassie said he's smart. He knew you were talking about food with us, and now he's looking for it. He is. He's too smart for his own good. Slim said, wow, that's pretty cool. One of these days, I will stop while we're in Norco grabbing food, and I will drive you guys past where Circle D Ranch is in Norco, so you can see where the Disney horses are kept. Luann Garcia said, hi everyone. All right. You showed in carts. I love it. Rob said, Denver wants to check his email. Slim said, never been on a horse, but family used to have mules. Why not, Slim? All right, let me make a quick phone call, guys, because my phone was ringing. Hi. I know you're being very good, actually. Hey, I'm grooming Denver and I'm live streaming. All right. All right, bye. All right. Also, you worked at a summer camp and did the trail rides and chuck wagon dinner ride. I love that. See, that was when I was starting out and just taking riding lessons and stuff in the summer. I would go up to summer camp with the YMCA at a camp in Big Bear called Camp Oaks. And I went there, I think like 4 summers. I went there quite a few times. And my favorite part of the camp, the summer camp, was that they had horses. But again, you would only walk on, you were only supposed to walk them. And you would go on trail rides up in the mountains up in Big Bear. It was really cool. And then it was funny because at the time I lived, like I said, in South Orange County. Years later, I moved up here. And when I moved up here, I found out that my horseshoer, once I got my horses up here and everything, that my horseshoer actually was the horseshoer for those horses at that camp up in Big Bear. And then years later, the guy that owned those horses, he rented them out to that camp. He actually lives in this area where I live. And they were deciding to stop offering the rental horses up there at the camp. And they had a big auction to sell off all the equipment. So I actually went up there, oh gosh, like 10 or 15 years ago, and went to the auction. So I got to go back to my old summer camp from when I was a kid and like see it now. It was so much nostalgia. It was really cool. Lady DH said, I also worked at a summer, oh, I already read that one. Lady DH said I was a horseback riding instructor at a summer camp one summer. It was a lot of work. Yes, I can see that. I can see that being true. I know the camp that I went to, there were, I want to say like between 15 and 20 kids per cabin. And there were probably like 15 cabins for the girls and like 15 cabins for the boys. And it would be like a week-long session, and then we would leave and a new group of campers would come in, and it was like that all summer. So I can see it being like a ton of work. DM said, I worked at a Boy Scout camp called Lost Valley. It was about an hour east of Temecula. How cool. I always wanted to go. There's a camp down in San Diego. Oh my gosh, what is it called? If someone knows what I'm talking about, shout it out. It's a horse summer camp. And I always wanted to go as a kid. And when I was like preteen, early teens, my boyfriend went there and went to camp. And I cannot think of what the heck it was called. But it was such a cool sounding camp. They did all kinds of crazy stuff there with the horses. Hey, no, James Markham. Aloha. Thank you, Shaquille. It's not Rain Tree Ranch. Riata Ranch, something like that. I want to say it's like Riata Ranch or something along those lines. But yeah. Lady DH said, yes, similar to that. I think we had about 60 horses to take care of every day. Yeah, I think that's probably close to the number that they had at the camp that I would go to in the summer. So... Rawhide Ranch, yes, thank you. That's what it was, Rawhide Ranch. I was like, I know it's an R, but I could not think of it to save my life. Can I help you? It's not food, buddy, I'm sorry. Carlos said, is it getting cold where you're at? So, about like a week or two ago, it was down in the 40s at night, but it warmed up again a little bit. But next week, I think it's supposed to start getting chilly again. So it's not too bad right now. Let me see what the high or the low is supposed to be tonight. The low is supposed to be in like the low 50s tonight. So not too bad. Anyway, for me, Mr. Mischief said, if you're enjoying this random horse stream with your favorite cowgirl, be sure to smash that like button. Brian Nerf said, I used to break horses and do bronc riding when younger. I now own 2 Friesians. Do you ever sleep? You're a busy young lady. Sleep? What is that? No, my running joke, I always do say, like, what is sleep? What is that? Or I'll say I'll sleep when I'm dead, because I honestly feel like there's just not enough hours in the day a lot of the time. And my biggest issue is I have a really hard time not staying up late at night because I'm so accustomed to staying up late for the streams, because by the time we get home after Disney, it is typically like 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm in such a routine of staying up late for all of that, that oftentimes I still stay up that late, even when we're not going to Disney. So I run on very little sleep typically. Let's see, Shaquille said, I love horses. Me too. Esmeralda said, how do the horses stay warm? So you don't have to do anything for them. They grow winter coats. So when the time changes, and not our time, not like the clock time, when nature starts having the time change. So, you know, like how in August, all of a sudden, it starts getting darker a little earlier and progresses. So horses and a lot of other animals that are farm animals, their bodies can sense that, and they will start shedding their summer coat, their shorter coat, and they'll start growing a longer coat. So he's a little fuzzy. He doesn't usually get too bad because he's inside the barn. Now mine, I blanket because I was raised with like show horses and stuff like that, but you don't have to blanket them. Horses naturally can, for the most part, regulate their body temperature, and their coat will kind of fluff up or like lay down depending on if they're trying to heat or cool themselves. And they can almost be somewhat waterproof in a sense if they're out in snow. So as long as it hasn't rained beforehand, as long as it's just straight snow, they will be okay for the most part. Now there are exceptions, like when there's snow like up to their bellies and, you know, it's below whatever temperature, you know, but a lot of times for the most part, they can be okay out in the snow, out in the cold with no blanket, no nothing, as long as they have enough food to eat. That food will create calories that their body will burn to keep themselves warm. But mine are bougie, so they get blanketed. But there's a lot of controversy with blanketing horses. There's controversy with everything in life. Some people say that you're like messing with nature and then, you know, they don't need it and this, that, and the other, but a lot of it's just, it keeps them clean. So, I don't know. But DM said, I did Rawhide Ranch and did the vaulting. See, I was so jealous. I always wanted to do the vaulting. When I was a teenager and like preteen, one of the horses that I leased before I bought her, and I don't think I owned her at the time, so I was dumb. I made a lot of dumb decisions as a kid with the horses, but I had amazing horses that they really took care of me. So the place that I boarded her at the time, they had, it was a round pen, which is self-explanatory. It's like 50, 60 feet in diameter, and it's round. But this one is what's called a bullpen. So it had high walls, similar to like what you see here, about this height, maybe a little more. And, oh, thanks, Denver. I really wanted to clean that up. And so no one could see in unless they climbed up some steps and were like looking over the top of it. So my friends and I would go in there and we would take our horses and do like really silly, goofy things. And one of them was my friend would get out there and I would be riding bareback on my horse and my friend would get out there and get them going for me. And I would be doing vaulting with no harness, no nothing, you know, standing, laying down, spinning around, jumping off, sliding off of them, like just silly, dumb stuff. But I always wanted to go to Rawhide Ranch and do the vaulting stuff. So let's see. DM said, horses also have blankets that you can put on them if it gets really cold. Yes. So I have his blanket hanging on his stall door right now. And then I even have a neck cover to cover his neck as well. DM, oh, that's not for me. Hey, Chloe, how are you? Mike Skellington said, most dogs that are closer to wolves have a winter coat too. My German Shepherd was like that. Yes. So similar to dogs, you know, they'll get like winter coats and fluff up and stuff like that. Esmeralda said, that's pretty cool. Anthony said, so what you're saying is I need to eat more in the winter to stay warm. Got it. Shaquille said, love you all. Lady Diet said, I vaulted as a kid too, DM. I'm so jealous. One of the trainers that I know, her students, she shows, like, trains Western Pleasure and stuff. One of her clients, she's a teenage girl, she was actually on the Junior Olympics team and did vaulting as well. She has a secondary trainer to go do vaulting. So Shelly said that was always something I wanted to do as well. Rawhide Ranch. Yeah. So. Hey, Parrowhead. Que vole, Katie. ¿Cómo estás, lady? Beautiful horse, by the way. Thank you, Parrowhead. Hola, Coca-Cola. DM said Rawhide Ranch is actually in Bonsall. Yes, it's down that way. I didn't know exactly where it was because I haven't looked into it since I was like way younger. But yeah. So. I don't know, guys. Any other questions? Anything else? Because I'll probably wrap it up otherwise and get him put away, which I know he would be appreciative of because he knows his food's sitting there. So I'm surprised you've actually been really good and you haven't pawed. Although I'm probably jinxing it by saying that. Anything else? It doesn't have to be horse related if anyone has any questions. It can be whatever. Oh, thank you, Jen. It's a mess right now. I am a mess right now. It's been a long day. Hey, Stephs, how are you? Shaquille said, awesome. Thanks for the horse stream, Kitty. You're welcome, Miss Garcia. Thanks for being here. Cassie said, is this someone's house on this property? Like they don't get scared, you show up at night. No, so they do have a house here. The owners live on the property, and then they also have a caretaker that lives in another location on the property. But they're used to me being here up late at night. I'm here almost every night, so they know it's me. And they drove past the barn. My car is actually parked in the barn right now, and there's lights on in the barn. So when they drive by, they can see that I'm here. But they're used to it. They know I'm here every night. Oh, que voile is slang for how do you do in Spanglish. You'll learn something new every day. Shelly says, you have two girls, right? I think I heard that. Yes. Hey, Allie. Loving your hair. You look beautiful. Thank you. The hair it's got a mind of its own today. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything you want to know? Christy said, thank you for streaming the horses again. You're welcome. Again, I'll try and do, once the weather's a little bit cooler during the day, I'll try and do a daytime stream so you guys can see them. Maybe we can give them baths and ride one of them or something. I don't know. You're welcome, guys. His eyelids are getting heavy. He's like, I'm gonna fall asleep waiting for my food. Shelly said, my family's enjoying the stream a lot. Oh, thanks, Shelly. Christy said, do you have a video of your Halloween decorations at your house? Bob did one. I honestly haven't been home enough to decorate the outside of my house. The inside's decorated. Because I debated, I was like, maybe I should stream from home tonight and show you all the decorations inside. But I was like, you guys would probably rather see the horses. So, but I have not had a chance to decorate outside. I doubt I'm going to at this point because it's so close to Halloween. But between my aunt moving, helping her with that, my aunt getting hurt, helping her with that, my one horse getting injured, dealing with that, and then there have been a few other things that I haven't discussed with you guys that have been going on. So life has been a lot the last couple of months. So Cassie said, I'm glad I didn't miss this one. I'll have to go search for the other horse video I somehow missed. It's, Cassie, the thumbnail for it, it's like my logo and like a wooden board background, and then I think it's like a mystery stream or Not in Disney or something. I don't know. It's something like that for the title. Shaquille said, thank you, everyone. Cassie said, one day we'll get that loungefly stream. That was the other, I was like, I can show the decorations at home and show you guys the loungeflies and my ears and whatever, but one day. Tam said, thanks for the stream, Kitty. Enjoyed seeing your horse. If I run into my Disney trip, I will show you pics of our horses. I would love that. Neighborhood contest. And his live is so cool. You should watch it. It's from a couple days ago, different and fun like the stream. I remember I watched his stream from last year with his Halloween decorations. But like I said, it's been crazy the last couple weeks, so I have not seen his one from this past week. Parahead said, "Hola Coca-Colas" to everyone who just said hi. Alrighty. You're welcome, Jennifer P. Thanks for being here. Esmeralda said, "Oh, this Horsie stream is great." Thank you. Charlie Weiss said, "Thank you for doing this, Katie. I was ninja watching most of the time, but it was fun. Switch up." I appreciate you being here, Charlie Wise. So, anywho, I think Denver and I will say good night. Do you want to smile? Do you want to smile and say good night? Are you gonna smile? You smile. He's like, "You didn't give me a treat last time I smiled." Say cheese. Cheese. But anyway, thank you guys for being here tonight. I hope you guys had fun. Hey, Arnold Carver. They said I like food and massages and I'm up for adoption. But thank you guys for being here. Have a beautiful night. If I'm able to do like a little short stream on Saturday, I will, but no guarantees. I know we're definitely going to be trying to try the food over at the new Hungry Bear restaurant. It opens tomorrow. I do not have a reservation for tomorrow, but I do have one for Saturday. And so yeah, if we can stream it, I will stream a little short stream. If not, then I might just record it and post it as like a short or something like that. So keep your eyes peeled, but otherwise, I know you're so impatient. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you guys so, so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Bye. And say bye. Say bye. Bye. All right, bye, guys. Have a great night.